Well, new details are emerging in Elon Musk's deal to buy social media giant Twitter. The world's richest man is set to pay $44 billion. The Tesla CEO says Twitter is not living up to its potential as a platform for free speech, and he promises to make it better than ever while opening its decision-making to the public. Shares in the company rose by 5% yesterday. And joining us now to discuss is Rachel Beaumard, Senior Policy Director at the Conservative Partnership Institute and Senior Tech Columnist at The Federalist. Rachel, welcome back. Great to see you again. While Twitter's board of directors has accepted Elon Musk's offer, it really isn't a done deal just yet. That said, do you have any idea of what Twitter will look like under Musk's, that is, leadership?
Well, it's a question I think everybody from ourselves to Twitter employees are asking. In a press release yesterday, Musk hinted at the fact that he would like to open source Twitter's algorithm, he would like to ban bots, and he wants to verify every human on the platform. Those three changes alone, I think, would dramatically change the user's experience on Twitter. And I think, opening the algorithm, he said he wants to do it to restore trust in the platform. That's actually something conservatives have been asking for a long time. It would sort of shed a light on how some of these content manipulation decisions are actually made and put to rest or, open up concerns that they're, thumbs are being placed on the scale, as it were, in content moderation decisions. So everything Elon Musk has said points to a more open and robust Twitter, one in which there is a clash and clang of ideas in the public square. But I think he's got an uphill climb to get there. Based on some of the reporting, I don't know that every Twitter employee agrees with him. So it's going to be an interesting couple of days for him as he takes over this company.
Yeah, and as we know, a lot of people have been kicked off of Twitter or shadow banned before, particularly those with conservative voices. Of course, the most notable being President Trump. How do you think the social media giant will treat conservatives, with Elon Musk in control?
Well, Musk has said if he's upsetting, 10% of the left and 10% of the right, he's probably doing it right. I don't know yet, what that means, and I think it's open to interpretation. But he does seem to be committed to the idea of speech as a principle. You heard him say sort of now very famously, he doesn't care about the economics of the platform. He more wants this to be about speech. That would drastically change how Twitter is run, because as we've seen, there is ideological coercion on the platform. All of the content moderation tends to go in one specific ideological direction. Simply changing that will allow a whole host of voices back onto the platform, many of them on the right, many of them pro-life voices who have been censored, for sharing their views on pro-life issues, or social conservatives, talking about specific issues about the transgender ideology in sports or the classroom. So that is, I think if you're a free speech, someone who cares about speech, that is what free speech is. It is speaking, your ideas into the public square, not expecting no pushback at all, but being able to actually speak into the public square. And that seems to be what Musk wants to restore to the platform, which to many of us would be a welcome change. But, of course, it remains to be seen.
Yeah, it sounds like, though, it could be a turning point for the pro-life movement when it comes to being on social media.
I think that's right, because, we've seen their voices suppressed across multiple platforms, not just Twitter. And I think, opening up Twitter to the pro-life voices will put a lot of pressure on some of the other platforms. It will put it into stark relief the extent to which Facebook bans those voices, bans those images and videos from groups like Live Action, Susan P. Anthony List, both of which have been famously censored on Facebook. So if Elon Musk allows those very valid political, moral views back on Twitter, again, it's going to put pressure on some of the other platforms to do the same. So Elon Musk could end up having a downstream effect, a ripple effect on social media writ large, not just Twitter itself.
And Rachel, what do you think, in your opinion, overall, what do you think about Elon Musk taking over Twitter and making these changes to the platform? I mean, how important at all do you think it will be?
So I do think it could end up being tremendously significant. Now, I think a lot of this hinges on what kind of changes Elon Musk is willing to make, how closely he's willing to monitor the platform, if he's willing to make the necessary personnel changes. But I do think it speaks more broadly to the fact, remember, we are also having to sort of beg a billionaire for access to the public square, to the public discourse, which isn't always a good thing, obviously. We shouldn't have to rely on the world's richest man to purchase this platform and make it a bastion of free speech. It was supposed to be that in the first place. So I don't think it necessarily shuts off a lot of the legislative efforts that you're seeing on Capitol Hill to sort of get control of, how these platforms moderate speech in the public square. But I don't want to downplay it. I do think this could be very significant for Twitter if Musk is serious. And, I was dubious at first that he was, but he has taken the steps to show that he is. So you have to hope it continues, for the sake of discourse here in America and across the world.
Yeah, I guess we will see what happens. Rachel, thanks so much for coming on. We always appreciate your insights.
Happy to do it. Thanks for having me.